Boom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what every solo entrepreneur gets wrong about money management. That's what today's episode is all about. Let's get this one started. Here we go.
Shut up and sit down.
Look, a business can give you everything you want in life: prestige, wealth, freedom. It can also take everything away from you. This show is for those who are willing to take that risk. These are the real life stories of entrepreneurs. But before we start, I have one small favor to ask. Please leave a comment. It can be advice, critiques, tips, feedback, or share this with someone because your engagement is the most valuable and most powerful form of social currency. So thank you, and welcome to another episode of Business Bros. Business Bros, small business owners are drowning in disconnected tools, outdated financial processes, and rising economic pressure. But what if the right system could streamline it all, automate, unify, and help you finally scale? Well, today's guest is doing exactly that, and I can't wait to get started with this conversation. Let's get this one started with meeting Mr. Gilad Uziely. All right, welcome to the program, my friend.
Also to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, first of all, every entrepreneur, just like I said in the intro, has all kinds of tools and things out there that can help them kind of build and scale and grow. There's just so many options. They never know which one's going to be the right fit. Tell me a little bit about your background and how you're helping people kind of streamline that process.
Yes, I actually know the problem firsthand. Right, I've been doing my own thing since I was a kid, basically. So I've built a bunch of businesses. With some I've done well, with some I've done very poorly. So I've been on all sides of the on the ups and downs. And even though I went to business school, they never teach you how to manage a business of one, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't teach you how you need to, and I've done my fair share of accounting classes, but I was never told how to manage properly a business of one, and that's what sparked the first try of what later became Sequence.
That's and you're exactly right. They tell you about big organizations, big corporations, how to, run things there, but they don't really show you that very beginning part. And most of the time, businesses start off as that solopreneur. They start off at the very beginning just with, I have a problem and I figure out how to solve the problem. And then all of a sudden people are asking me how I solve the problem. And then I got this business that I'm working on, and nobody really kind of teaches you how to go from solopreneur to business owner. What are some of the common struggles you see that business owners are facing today to get to that next level?
No, so before that, I think that there are like so many just solopreneurs, people that just enjoy working for themselves, right? Yeah. That's the backbone of our economy. Like there are just so many, anything from from gig workers, solopreneurs, and just people that even lawyers and dentists and MDs. They are just a business of one. Some of them are doing amazing, right? A lot of money. So it's not necessarily a stop before you become like a business owner with a lot of employees, right? And those people are the ones who struggle the most. They can be extremely successful, some of them are making a lot of money, but still they wear so many hats, right? Yes. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to manage the financial side of your business. Almost no one starts a business unless he's starting an accounting practice, because they want to master the cash flow, or they want to understand bookkeeping, or they want to collect invoices. Right? That's for most of us, that's the boring part. And add to that the fact that our financial stack went through a massive unbundling, right? Which we all ended up, like the average American has 15 different places in which their money lives. And if you're a small business owner, it's even more than that, right? Yeah. Because you wear so many hats. You have to do the marketing, the operations, the sales. You have to, actually do the work, whatever it is that you do. Sure. And it's very hard to follow all those different places in which your money lives. It's even harder to manage it. And it's almost impossible to make smart financial decisions in context because everything is siloed.
I think that's why most small business owners end up failing. It's not because they're not good at what they do. I think it's just a matter of burnout. Like I got in this thing because I like doing this thing, this skill set that I have, but all these other things are just weighing on me. And at the end of the day, those things tend to burn you out. So what are you doing to help them out? How did you kind of go about and say, all right, look, I know that I'm not the only one struggling with this. How can I make this an easy automated flow so that not only does it benefit me, but other entrepreneurs can benefit from this as well?
So what we've built with Sequence, I mean, we looked around and we said, okay, there are many budgeting tools and many forecasting tools and many cash flow management that are all passive, right? All of them are looking like they are all backwards looking. They tell you how much you spent. They maybe help you do some kind of projections or build a plan. And some of them are awesome, right? You need a plan, and you need to budget. But the problem with all of them is that they are, a plan is just as good. It's irrelevant if you're not executing it, right? So it's like, my trainer tells me what to do when I go to the gym. But if I'm not going to the gym and I'm not following what he's telling me to do, I will never get fit. Same goes for same goes for dietitians, and everything that we need to be disciplined is a place where us as humans are struggling. And it's exactly the same with money, right?
It's 100%. I have a mentor that he has a great line. He says, everybody has this idea that they think it's $1 million idea, but there's no such thing as $1 million ideas. There's only $1 million execution. And that's the disciplinary action of what you're talking about right there.
Exactly, 100%. So when we thought about, or the core principle of what we are doing here is that we are not passive, we are active. We start where all personal finance management tools end. We do the execution for you. You tell us where you want to go, and we will not only tell you how to get there, but we will execute it for you. We take the human out of the equation. It's like a fitness app that goes to the gym for you.
That would be nice. I mean, if you can go and do those ab crunches for me, and then I can wear the 6-pack, I mean, that would be the greatest invention of all time. Alex Hormozi talks about having the instant gratification, right, and dropping that timeline for what you want, that desired effect. And what you're doing here is kind of helping people do that. Now, we're living in a time of AI. So is it something that comes in and kind of mimics what I would already be doing? Walk me through how the execution happens.
So yeah, AI is amazing, and we are putting AI into what we are building. But what we came to understand is that there's a famous saying that the three most important things for people is their family, their health, and their money, not necessarily in that order. So people are not 100% willing to just let go, right? They want to have some degree of control, some more, some less, but we are not ready for self-driving money. Not just yet.
Not yet. No.
So yeah. I mean, we are working our butts off, right? So we don't we can't just waste it. So we are implementing some AI into it, but what we are doing now is mostly automations. You open a Sequence account and you build your guardrails, and it's like the closest product to it is like Zapier, right? It's an if this then that for your money. And the combination of some intent, a little bit of guidance from us or from your financial coach or whoever you follow, and a lot of automation can change the trajectory of your life. We are seeing that. We are getting love letters from our customers.
Now, automations are cool because I know exactly what's set in place. For example, I use Rocket Money for like creating sinking funds because I think it's kind of fun to be able to put some of this money away for myself. But there are guardrails in there. I'm like, if my account reaches a certain level, don't pull the money out from here. If I have a certain income comes in, then go ahead and drop it over here. But I set up those automations, right? So I know that it's happening. You're right. I don't want a self-driving money pit, right? I don't know if my money's going away and I don't know exactly what's happening and I look at my account and I have no idea what's going on, that's going to make me very uncomfortable. But if I set the guardrails, if I'm the one putting the automations in place, that definitely is something that I want to look forward to. And let's face it, because at the end of the day, I got into business to make money so I can have more time, not to get into business to suck up more of my time, right?
100%, and it's more than that. It's time is one thing, but as we all know, time equals money, and for money to make money, it needs time. So every time that you have money just sitting around, like lazy money as they call it,
Mm-hmm.
you're basically you're losing, right? So by it really doesn't have to be complicated. You can create simple but extremely powerful automations that will, again, it can change your life, right? We are seeing people that are like, just crushing their debt. They are starting to invest. They start saving. They build a better future for themselves, for their families, for their kids, and it's very exciting to see. We had someone who used Sequence to optimize her saving towards an IVF. It's exciting. It's fun. And
Especially when you see the goals being attained, right? And it's almost like you're not doing them. Like, again, it goes back to, like, I'm starting to wear a six-pack, but you were doing the work. That's the goal that we like to see when you have a sinking fund, for example, and you set it up and you put the automation at the beginning. It's like, okay, it's going to happen, but time goes by and all of a sudden that sinking fund reaches a certain dollar amount, or the automations are working in place. Now you're excited about it. Now, here's my question, because I know I get pushback when I talk about automations and AIs. Somebody's going to say, I love that. How much do I have to spend and learn in time to set this all up? Do I have to go and, spend all kinds of hours educating myself to set this all up again?
Absolutely not. For most of us, Sequence is very intuitive. You come in, it's just drag and drop. It's very, very simple. We do a weekly webinar. We have a crazy Discord community of people who are just like amazing. They know the product better than me, to be honest, some of them, and they are really helping each other. So when you start using Sequence, you also get in the community. It's not hard. It's simple.
So when people, when an entrepreneur is getting started, they don't often think about, what the next step is. They probably don't think about their money issues until it's almost tax time, and they're got to sit down and they're like, oh, now I got to sit down to do my accounting, and they got to work things backwards and kind of fill it all in. When should a solopreneur be thinking about getting their stuff situated, and what are they looking at as far as cost or setup time?
So first of all, in terms of when to start, the earlier the better, obviously.
Yes.
However, we all know that you need to sometimes, get hit in order to understand that you need something. But I think that today, with there are so many, we call them finfluencers. Influencers who talk about money and setting up set up your business in the right way. So we are seeing people that just started and immediately opened their Sequence account. Cost is anything between $16 to $60 a month, depending on your business and the volumes that you are processing. So it's not a huge amount of money, and if you use Sequence properly, you will make it back in a month. The entire yearly cost.
So are these automations? Because in my mind, I'm thinking most of them are going to need like a QuickBooks account to get started, to record their stuff. Does Get Sequence help with the bookkeeping aspect of it, or is it just automations on payment? Walk me through it.
So basically, think of Sequence as the layer who sits between whoever pays you and all the different places in which your money needs to go. Right. So if you have, for example, multiple income streams, if you have like a bunch of rental properties, or you have a bunch of clients, or you're working on a bunch of platforms, so you push everything into Sequence, and then you set the rules in Sequence, and then you push the money to wherever it needs to go. If you want to save towards a vacation, if you want to buy a home, if you are repaying debt, if you want to save for your kids, whatever it is that you want to do, Sequence is a router, right? It routes the money to the best place for you. And that's actually counterposition to what banks do, right? Because banks, they want to keep all your money with them, because they make money when they have assets under management. At Sequence, we don't care about assets under management. We want to help you push the money to the best place for you. You want to invest, you want to save, you want to repay debt, you want to make sure that you pay on time, and you never miss a payment. It's for you to decide, and we can power that. We connect to anything that has an account and routing number, anything from crypto wallets to 401ks, 529, all depository account, Venmo, Pay, whatever, you name it.
So we're not really doing accounting here, but we are allocating funds. And in this case, what you're saying is, and when we talked about lazy money a little bit earlier, I know a lot of times there you're sitting on a bank account and you're waiting to pay this bill and you're waiting to pay that bill, and that money's sitting there in your bank doing nothing, earning you 0.001% interest. And you're saying at this point, why are you sitting there doing nothing? You can set up an automation where the money comes in, it gets allocated in certain places. When it's needed, the system's going to automatically move it to a certain spot where it needs to be so that you can either pay down your debt as fast as possible, build up a savings if that's what you need, or allocate funds to retirement accounts or whatever. That's what I'm hearing you say, correctly?
Absolutely, absolutely.
That is a sick program. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I don't want my money sitting doing nothing. Do you guys partner with financial institutions to kind of help mitigate some of the gains or pay down some of these debts within the system, or is it all just built in and you choose where to go?
We connect to almost all. I would say over 99% of all banks and financial institutions in the United States. All. And for most of them, you can both push and pull money. So you can say, for example, if my Bank of America checking account is under 7K, pull from my Chase savings account and push it into my Bank of America. And it will happen automatically. You just build the sequences, you build the routines.
That makes it a lot easier. How about in making adjustments afterwards? Let's say you're going through and you're going to add an account, or you want to change a strategy, and it's just, how does one go about doing that?
Well, no problem. You can just go in, change it, tweak it, edit it, and next time that money will hit your account, it will do whatever you told it to do. And
Now,
you can trigger rules or sequences based on whenever money comes in, right? So you can say every time money comes in my account, send 50% to my spending account, 30% to my savings, and 20% for my long-term, something else that you want to do. You can. It's now the system is robust, right? You can round down, you can top up, you can pay the minimum balance on your credit card, you can pay the entire balance of your credit card. You can really build you can build anything that serves you when it comes to your money.
And the system obviously is going to be a little bit smarter than us. I know for me, when it comes to forecasting, when it comes to budgeting, I'm pulling reports, I'm looking at spreadsheets, I'm trying to decipher where I'm going to go, how it's going to get there, what the best moves are. There's a lot of time that goes into it. When it comes to reporting, and when an entrepreneur can look at this system after it's built, can they look at a glance and see where am I at, where am I going, how long it's going to take to get there?
So yeah, so you can attach goals. And then see how you're tracking towards your goals. There's a robust reporting component to Sequence, so you can send it to your accountant, to your financial advisors, to your business partner, or to your life partner, right? But it's important for me to say, Sequence is an execution tool, right? We are not in a position. We do not want to replace financial advisors. So Sequence isn't smart. It's the best executor that you can find, right? You need to know where you want to go. What's your goal? We will get you there, but you need to decide what's important for you. You need, like, for some people, different things are important, right?
Let me ask you about the professional side then. If I'm sitting with my financial advisor, if I'm sitting with my tax attorney, if I'm sitting with my accountant, how beneficial is it to have Sequence in place? What are they saying about your customers who have this in place? Because I know, I'll give you an example. I've had a tax practice since 2006. And I remember when I first got started, I have that client that comes in with the shoebox full of receipts. And I hated those kind of clients because I would sit there and have to go through, sort, and, what's this, what's that, and so many different things because there was no execution plan along the way. There was nothing that was organized. How do these professionals feel when they work with your clients who have Sequence in place?
So great question. We are building specific reports for accountants and for bookkeepers, because as you know, it's complicated, right? You get a lot of payments, you spend a lot of money, you have different cards. Sequence put it into one place. We also actually give you a debit card in which you can decide from which account you want to pay. So it makes everything way simpler for when reporting time comes. And that's that's for the accountants. For financial advisors who are more forward looking, right, they want to help you plan towards your future. Sequence is extremely powerful because their struggle, the financial advisor, they struggle with understanding where the customers are and if they're actually executing their plan. And as we said before, like people come to them, they build a plan, but then they can't control what they're actually doing. So now financial advisors are using Sequence, and instead of sitting with the customer for, I don't know, half an hour, and just telling them, you need to put 10K here every month, and then make sure that you have enough money here to pay that bill. They just build the plan on Sequence, and it will be executed. You can tweak it, you can edit it, you can look at it, and the advisor can go in, set notifications to know when something is up with his customer, if he's if he's not following the plan. But it becomes a very powerful tool for financial advisors because you're not only planning, you're also helping them to execute.
Now, I want to go to one of the problems that I know solopreneurs have very early on, mainly because they don't understand the difference between personal and business funds, right? There's solopreneurs get started. They go to, I don't know, Home Depot and buy something. They go to Walmart and buy something. And while they're there, they see a product that they need for their business or whatever. And all of a sudden, everything gets commingled and mixed. And that becomes a problem along the way. When you're having some of these executions done within Get Sequence, can you separate within the program personal versus business and have the system kind of help the execution process so you're no longer commingling?
That's one of the most important things that we are doing for solopreneurs and for small business owners. Because I have like maybe an unpopular opinion here, but I think that trying to force people to separate completely will never work, right? Because I am the business. Yes. I've been there. I am the business. The business is me. I work because I work for me. Yeah. So what we do in Sequence is to create. You can come in as an individual and then set up your business. You see both of them on the same interface, on the same map. You can create rules. You pay yourself from the business. You can execute the teachings of, I don't know, Ramit Sethi or Profit First, or you can build the way that you want to build and pay yourself. So you have both personal and business all in one place. You can see it all. You can separate it even after you've paid or after you've received payment, right? So this is one of the biggest values that people actually get from Sequence.
Now, I'd imagine once this automation is set in place, you have the execution of the plan, you're getting some results that you probably didn't anticipate. Things like people's debts are getting paid at a faster rate. People's savings are getting increased at a faster rate. All of a sudden, they are generating more revenue because there's less time dealing with all the invoicing, dealing with all the payment structures, dealing with all the reporting. What are some cool stories you've heard from entrepreneurs who have been using your system that they've been able to benefit from, aside from just the automations, just because of the tool that they have in place?
So I just spoke 2 days ago with a guy who runs a short-term rental business, right? So he manages 20 apartments, or used to manage 20 apartments. He doesn't own all the apartments. Like I think he owns maybe one of them. So he runs those apartments for different owners. He puts those apartments on all platforms, right? Anything from Booking.com to Airbnb and anywhere, right? Because he wants to get maximum exposure. And so he has 20 different owners on multiple platforms, a lot of money movement coming in, going out. You have to pay the cleaners. You have to make sure that you have the deposit. You have to pay back the deposit. There's a lot of money movement. Nothing is rocket science, but it takes time, right? Since he started using Sequence, he went up from 20 apartments to 30 apartments just because him and his wife, who's also his business partner, just had more time.
Yeah.
So they are making more money. They are more efficient, and they are just crushing it.
And on a personal note, the burnout rate, I think if you have things like this in place, has got to go way down. I feel like the husband and wife have more time for each other. They have more time for, children,
you know what the wife told me?
Yeah.
His wife, she's also amazing. Like she's a badass business owner, right? She told me since we started using Sequence 6 months ago, we haven't thought about money. Which is crazy.
It sounds like, easy and simple to say, but you'd be surprised how often couples fight about that. And it's not really always a fight. It's just,
No, yeah, it's not a
sometimes it's a
fight.
decision of, do we do this first? Do we do this first? And then, every entrepreneur feels like they should go in this direction. The other one thinks they should go in this direction. And then and then kind of the arguments ensue. But I love that. That's one thing that, again, you don't realize these things that you're solving by putting these automations in place.
100%. And by the way, when she said that they are not fighting or arguing anymore about money, she didn't mean about the business. She meant about personal life, right? Because they had everything figured out. They knew how much they wanted to spend on dates night, on restaurants, on kids, so everything was way more organized. So it doesn't leave any space for you to not understand what's going on. So you know what's going on, and that's the first step. And they can look at it together. Each can log in and see where they stand.
I also, put this on the other side, right? That works well for a partner, for example, that you're married to. But sometimes you have a partner that you're not married to, and there's things that can happen within a business where one partner might be shaving a little bit off the top and putting things on their own. Here, I think this kind of eliminates at least a lot of the opportunity for things like embezzlements because of the automation sequence, right?
Absolutely. It's not obviously it's not it's not a bulletproof, right?
No,
If somebody wants to do, but you're right. I mean, it will definitely reduce the opportunity.
Well, it's the hands in the money pot, right? If you have to go in the wallet to make a payment every time, the risk of doing something every time you put your money in the wallet to go pay something, that's where it happens. If there's nobody putting their hands in the wallet anymore and it's all automated, the risk is less. Now you can look at those profit margins and be like, okay, how are we going to split this a little bit different? It gives you a completely different opportunity. Gilad, if people want to reach out and find out more about Get Sequence, how can they do that, and how quickly can someone get started?
Well, the onboarding takes 5 minutes, and you can immediately get started. If you have any, you can see the website on the screen now. If you have any issue whatsoever, there's a chat in the product. You can contact us. We are always happy to jump on a call. We have weekly webinars. We have the community, as I said, on Discord, so you're welcome to look for that too. And if you want to reach me, I'm mostly active on LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn is where to go, and you can find Sequence on Instagram, Facebook, anywhere.
Perfect. There are a lot of people who I think are definitely looking into doing things like these, but they don't want to run solo. They know that there's so many cool things that I could probably set up and automate and structure within Get Sequence. And you talked a little bit about having that community in place. What are the conversations that happen in the community? What are the relationships that get built? And what's the benefits of not only having Get Sequence put in place, but also taking advantage of the community that exists?
Yeah, so I mean, as I said before, the community is built. The members of the community are like super smart and kind people who are passionate about improving their lives through their financial well-being, and they are very generous. They share their tactics, they share their strategies. We are doing every few weeks. We are hosting one of our community members to show his money map, or how he thinks about his money, and what hacks did he do with Sequence in order to get where he wants to go. So there's a lot of knowledge sharing. You can ask any questions. There are no stupid questions. Again, people are extremely kind and smart. So that's one thing. The other thing is that we have a template gallery. So you can go in with a click of a button and just create like your very first simple automation, whether you want to start saving for a rainy day or an emergency fund, or you want to start repaying debt. So with the click of a button, you can choose a strategy, snowball, avalanche, whatever works for you. And so it's not hard to get started. It's fairly easy.
I love that. Let's face it. I mean, when you become a solopreneur, when you get busy, sometimes being in business by yourself can get very lonely. So to have a community there in place to help kind of guide you through whatever it is that you're trying to figure out, whether it's your first automation or it's the more complex stuff, it's great to have that opportunity. Yeah. Gilad, thank you very much for sharing. Go for it. What were you gonna say?
No, I just wanted to say that one of the things that makes me, two things that makes me really happy about Sequence is as I said just now, our community, because community product fit is much rarer than product market fit. It's very hard to build a community around a product or around anything for that matter. And the second thing is that from the very first day of us launching Sequence, we have already started living up to our mission, and today we are completely living up to our mission of improving people's life through their financial well-being. And that's very exciting. It's something that gets me excited. I'm happy to be this.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Look, we all have goals. We all want to, like you said earlier, want to have a better relationship at home. We all want to be better in shape, physically and health. And then we want to have our financial things in order. And all those are going to take execution. And what GetSequence.io is doing is helping you get that execution down pat, so that financially speaking, I mean, they can't get you a 6-pack, so you're still gonna have to do the crunches. I don't think there's a solution there, but when it comes to your money, not yet, right? Not yet. I like that. But when it comes to your money, there's definitely a way to get your execution lined up, set up automatically. All you got to do is go to getsequence.io, check out the program that they got. They even got the community set up to help you either get started with your first sequence or get things that are a little bit more complex. Reach your financial goals, get more of your time. Go to getsequence.io. Gilad, thank you very much for being on the program with me today. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for you on this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. And we're out.
It's over. Go home.
Is your business in need of marketing? Try starting a podcast, but not just any podcast. Podcast like a pro. We can show you how to take your business from being invisible to becoming a brand people trust. Go to www.businessbros.biz